You're probably wondering why am I on here a little earlier if you're coming on, and this is the thing. I had some things that I need to take care of today. And so I decided that coming on now is better than waiting another half hour. So we're on today now. So if you've come upon this later, I apologize. Doesn't matter what time it is. We're right here in the energy field, and all this is an illusion, time constraint, all that. We got to remember that. So the moment we're in is right now, and I'm right here gazing at you, and you're gazing at me, kind of like the mirror. But let's take a moment just to settle in a little bit, because we have no need to rush into understanding this. Just to be here. And take a deep breath with me now, and hold it, and let it go. Take another breath. So let that body calm down, mind to stop spinning, shoulders to relax, jaw to not clench. And we take another breath and put our hands on our heart. We say, body mindset of the fallen mindset, the broken world, the matrix that has lied to us. We say body and soul mind of that deactivate, turn off completely. We say creator mode, divine. I am that I am, fully activated, fully. Let us remember together, because that's what we are. One. One unified field. Just fragment, seeing themselves as separate beings. So we don't need to rush into understanding it. Let's just be. Because what we're about to explore is not just an idea. It's something you already you're already inside of and always been. See, there is a question that sits at the center of all existence. What is the relationship between the observer and what is being observed? And most of us have taught, most of us have been taught something very simple. There's me, and then there's the world, and there's the thinker and the thoughts, and then there's the watcher and the experience and the subject and the object. But what if that split is the illusion? Because if that's true, everything changes, right? See, over time, humanity has fragmented itself. We've taken something a whole and divided it into these fragmented pieces. Gnosis teachings, this is described as scattering of the divine spark. Whereas you're these unique puzzle pieces, a part of the ultimate puzzle of the cosmos. And not that it was destroyed, but that it was forgotten. Your spark isn't destroyed. You might have got a bunch of shit on it and you can't see it. It's hidden underneath that diamond, that spark is there. The divine is right there. See, we begin to see creation as something outside of us all the time, something separate from us, something we are moving through instead of something we are participating. That God's just someone out there pointing a finger down, watching. Every so often we pray off to the distance, or for religion, we pray every day. But here's the shift: creation has always been one gazing into a mirror in you. are that point of awareness. So you're not just reality, you are a place where reality is being experienced. And let me ask you something. Without your awareness, where's your world? Not philosophically directly, your entire experience of reality exists within perception. So is reality out there? Or is it arising within observation? I mean, this is where science starts catching up in a very interesting way. In quantum physics, there's a famous experiment called the double slit experiment. And what they found is that particles behave differently depending on whether they are being observed, not metaphorically, but actually. When not observed, particles act like waves spread out probabilistic. When observed, they collapse into a fixed position like matter. So the question becomes, what is observation doing? Is it just watching reality? Or is it participating in shaping it? See, this doesn't mean you control everything. Let's stay grounded here. But it does suggest that something's powerful. The observer is not separate from the system. And the act of observation is part of reality itself. So now we start being something and we start seeing something. Reality is not fixed. It's not a fixed object. It is a relationship. Imagine standing in a dark room with a flashlight, right? And wherever you put the light, something appears now. But before the light, nothing is clearly defined. It's black. And the room is still there, though, but it's undefined, uniformed, unformed. Not uniform, it's unformed. It's unformed in your perception, just in your perception. See, your awareness works like that light. It doesn't even create the room entirely, but it determines what becomes real for you. Let's take that deeper. What if reality itself behaves in a similar way? See, at the deepest level, physics tells us something surprising. Reality is not made of solid things, it is made of fields, patterns, mathematical relationships. And the field doesn't produce objects like a machine produces products, it creates conditions where structure can emerge. I think of it like this: a spider web is not random, it actually forms tensions, geometry, and relationship. Reality behaves the same way. Everything we see is structured through mathematical order. Geometry is not just a human invention, it is a language of how reality organizes itself. And this is why we see repetition everywhere, fractals, patterns that repeat across scale. And the branching of trees, the flow of rivers, the structure of your lungs, the firing of neurons, and even the distribution of galaxies. And let that sink in. Your brain and cosmos share the same structural patterns as above, so below, not as mysticism, but as observable structure. I mean, look at your own life for a second. What patterns keep repeating? not just externally, but internal emotions, reactions, thoughts, loops. Where do you see the same structure showing up again and again and again? I mean, now turn inward because everything we just described out there also exists within you. Your psyche is fractal. The same emotional patterns repeat in different situations. The same fears wear different masks. The same identities show up in relationships, work, and self image. And this is where people enter what's called the dark night of the soul. And it's often misunderstood. It's not breakdown, it's revelation. It's when the observer turns inward and begins to see the structure of the self. And what happens next? Resistance. Because your nervous system is built for familiarity. And even if the pattern is painful, it's known. So when you begin to change, you hit the moment of stillness, a strange pause, almost like floating. And in that space, something inside reacts. This isn't right. This isn't me. Go back. But that voice is the old structure lying to maintain itself. You're not breaking, you're reorganizing. See, in the Gnostic teachings, this moment is the beginning of remembrance, the return of divine spark, not something you gain, something you uncover. And you begin to see that observer is observed. You are not separate from the patterns, you are the field in which they arise. In psychology, this is integration. In physics, this is coherence. And in nature, this is harmony. Think about a forest, no tree is isolated. Roots communicate, nutrients are shared, information flows beneath the surface, and the forest is one system expressing itself as many forms. And that's you, not metaphorically, structurally. So we come back to the question, what is the relationship between the observer and the observed? And now you can feel the answer. They are not two things, they are one process, seen from two perspectives, the universe looking at itself, the field becoming aware of its own structures, and you are that point of awareness. So as you move forward from here, don't just ask, what am I seeing? Ask, what part of me is being revealed through this? Because the moment you see that clearly, you stop fighting reality and you start understanding it. And when that happens, you don't just observe the world, you reorganize yourself within it. Let that land for a second. And then just sit with that. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace and love. We'll be on here at 8 a.m.